Airstrike.
They had the fight. And in my personal opinion, my first question is this the fault of the old school promoters early on that were screwing over boxers? Here's the reason why I'm saying that. We all know Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Don King was screwing him over on potential financial issues, which caused Mike Tyson to attack him. Mm-hmm. So for years, there have been interviews and stories of old school promoters manipulating the system so they can get the most money at the gate, leave the boxer with a certain number of percentage that maybe was not at his worth. And now all these years later, due to the internet and the wealth of information that is available that was not available back then in the 80s and 90s right in front of your face, now these boxers understand that not only am I a boxer, I am a brand. And you are going to pay me as such because people are coming to see me. I can monetize that audience myself. I don't need you necessarily as a promotion. So now you have to pay me as such. What we saw with this fight was a legal bank robbing. Now we'll break it down like this. If you're a fan of pure boxing and the art of it, I could see why you're upset.
You shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
It wasn't for you.
Yep.
I could see why you might be upset. At the same time, why would you pay $50 for an exhibition fight with a YouTuber involved?
You shouldn't have been there. It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's always been about the show, right? And it's in some capacity, like
It's still like all of these things qualify as entertainment.
yeah. And that's kind of like the thesis to my whole thought process behind this is that it's always been a show. It's always been about entertainment. So it didn't deviate too much. Did it deviate from technicalities, from traditions? Yeah, but like, didn't the mob used to run boxing at some point? Like, this shit is gonna continue, right? It's entertainment. Entertainment and, across the board is like this, unfortunately.
Hey guys, unfortunately, the shit you're entertained by is pretty standard.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to pony up a purse for standardized entertainment. This was a gladiator of sport
Yeah.
going up against a gladiator of digital content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who happened to have some stature to him. I'm not saying he's a little guy. And what we saw was Mayweather
big ass knocked out.
holding him up so that they could carry on this fight to the bag.
He got his big ass knocked out.
Real quick, his response to that was, "Hey, man, y'all shut the F up. That's not what happened." Of course he's going to say that, but I'm just saying.
We saw you. You held a nigga larger than you up. That is a large man.
He should be saying that because let's not get too far away from the point that Mayweather as a businessman, period.
Is a businessman.
He's a fucking genius, this one.
Yeah.
He owns 9 fucking skyscrapers in New York and shit. Like, this man is, I don't know where this notion began, maybe since the beginning of sport, that if you're in sport, you're stupid.
That's false.
No, they
so very false.
Well, they wanted to program the athletes that way. Think about it. If I'm an organization and I'm a front office, let's say you don't have that business knowledge. I'm just hypothetically, I ain't throwing no shade. Let's say hypothetically you don't have that business knowledge. Coppo does. Y'all have both got the same amount of talent. But because he has the knowledge of business and knows his worth more, I got to pay him more. And if I'm a shrewd businessman, I don't feel like paying him. So I'm going to hire you. And I'm going to put the battery in your back to focus on your talent while I'm collecting more at the gate and giving you a certain percentage. It's not going to be the same percentage as if he was working with somebody else. It's going to be higher. Why? Because he knows his business.
Yeah. Hey, creatives, know your worth. That's all I'm saying. Because exactly what he's saying happens, right?
It happens all the time.
We've had this conversation before. Like, I've called him and I was like, yo, cats need to put some respect on your name. Like, from one person getting it to another, bro, you really out here doing it. Like, I think that's part of the problem is too often in our culture, right? People don't big each other up in that way. Like, I just called him, was like, yo, you the man, bro. Like, you out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to school, you went to school. He's already doing it, like, you know what I mean, full time. That's part of the culture, is that enough people aren't giving each other game, aren't giving each other the big up. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I think still this, and it's, you know what's sad? We had this conversation when we were in our late 20s, and it still is happening.
Yeah. But I want to point one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Giving game and like doing it
It's two different things.
very different.
Church.